Good evening, welcome to the latest live edition of Last Bowl Boxing, joined by regulars Daz. How you going, Daz?
Right, mate.
No confusion this week. I ain't got to say Darren or Daz or, it's quite confusion. And then we got Orkan. How you going, Orkan?
Hi,
Good to have you on, fella. Good to have you on. So we're going to dive straight in. So
Thanks.
obviously, there's a Queensbury card this weekend. Denzel Bentley against Derek Swarzy. Nottingham lad, Derek is. Shot at the big time, if I'm honest. He's done his rounds on the small hall, so it's quite refreshing to see him get his shot. So I'll come to you first, Daz. Have you seen out of a Swaz? Do you know of him?
Yeah, he's a good fighter, mate. Yeah, he's a good fighter. Listen, if Bentley's not at his best, then he'll come unstuck. But
yeah, I do like Daz when you get these lads who have gone round the small halls. I mean, if you think about him fighting people like, Darryl Sharp and people like that, and all of a sudden he's jumping in with Denzel Bentley, which with all due respect to Darryl Sharp is a few levels up.
yeah,
It's a bit of a cup final for him, right?
yeah, definitely. It's his chance, isn't it?
He looks half decent though, and it's a good opportunity where that if he beats Bentley, he could get a big fight, right? With that WB, is it WBO?
I think it is. Yeah, definitely. You see, Bentley's got a lot to prove as well,
and a lot to lose.
Yeah, it could be a good fight. This.
They're both around the similar age, Dad, aren't they? 29 and 30. So, go on then. Tell us how you think this one's going to go.
You know what, mate? I'm gonna back local boy, mate. I'm gonna back Asazi to take his chance.
Well, Bentley's a bit up and down at the minute, isn't he? In terms of form.
Yeah, it's a bit unpredictable, mate. So, you know what I mean? I don't like backing against Bentley sometimes because sometimes he can turn up and he can look $1 million. But yeah, I'm going to give Asazi a shot here, mate. And I think he's going to win on points.
Interesting. Orkan, coming to you. Give us your thoughts.
I haven't watched Osase, so I don't know that much about him. But if I go what I know about Bentley, last time out against Dingham, he won early on a stoppage. But so we'll see if his comeback after the loss against Nathan Heaney is going forward to any bigger fights in the future. But so I think that what I know with Bentley, that Bentley wins on points decision.
I think Bentley might take his eye off the ball here. Obviously Derek's a good Nottingham lad. Does a lot of charity work in the community in Nottingham. So maybe my heart ruled in my head a little bit, but I'm going to go for Derek to beat him on points. He's a good fighter. I've watched him on small halls. Quite slick. So he's going to cause Bentley some problems. So moving on. We've touched on this a few times on the show. We've never really gone in depth on Turki Al-Sheikh's influence on boxing and the ripple effect. Obviously, him and Canelo are kind of going at it at the minute. Personally, I think it's a bit of a pantomime to raise the interest of Canelo fighting on the Riyadh season. I think Canelo would do business with Turki Al-Sheikh, if I'm honest with you, down the road. I'm going to come to Orkan. Orkan, you can take this wherever you want to take it in terms of your opinion. Do you think Turki Al-Sheikh is good for boxing?
It depends what your thoughts, what you want for boxing. If you want just the biggest card in Riyadh and some in UK and US, like it was in LA and the upcoming Wembley card. If you just want the boxing with the best fight and don't care so much of other fights, I can understand that you are very happy for it. But I see it.
What's your thoughts?
I think it's. I don't like it so much, and I did. I don't like that he has gone out on social media so much in the last week or 2 weeks, and said. I think those should be said in closed doors between Turki and Canelo and Tank and Tim Chu.
I'll play devil's advocate with you though. Is it just a case that Canelo's used to getting everything his own way, and there's a new power player in the sport of boxing? Hi, Sean.
Hi, guys.
Yeah. Yes, I can see it that way, that Canelo wants to do his way. Yeah, I agree with that. But I don't like that he has been so much on social media against some of the fighter who's not want to sign with him on his terms.
Okay, thank you, Orkan. Daz, coming to you. You've been quite vocal on the female fight inside of the Riyadh season, the lack of it. I'll throw the same question at you. Take it wherever you want to take it. Is Turki Al-Sheikh good for boxing?
From women's boxing, no, I think it's awful. For women's boxing. I mean, we've even got Clarissa Shields. I think she's come out and mentioned, put me on a card on Twitter, I believe it were. It's male boxing. Yeah, we're going to see pretty much all the fights that we want to see. I'm not overly convinced either that one person running the show is a good idea. I sort of get a bit of like a feeling like, I mean, I do a lot of reading on boxing, and like back in 30s, 40s, 20s, maybe 50s. Boxing was heavily controlled by mafia.
Yeah.
They decided who got shots, who didn't get shots. I sort of get a bit of a feeling that this is sort of similar. You know what I mean? I'm not saying Turki Al-Sheikh's in mafia or he's into organised crime. Do you know what I mean? It's just still got
his favourites, though, Daz, hasn't it? He's got his favourites. Right? He's got his favourites, right?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And and he's got the ones that that not so much favourites, but he decides what he's deciding what's happening. And I know a lot of people are saying, listen, money does talk, and people will go where the money is, and that's not just at boxing level, that goes right down to, our level. We'd go where the money is in a job. But I don't think on all that it's good. If I don't honestly. I think while we're going to get some cracking fights between males, I think we're going to lose out on some cracking fights, between females. I think the female fighters are going to be scratching around for for fights. And listen, let's be honest. We aren't being political. You know, women aren't, classed as equals in that, area. Especially, and I've said it before. Gay. I think up until 2 years ago, someone was stoned to death for being gay. You know what I mean? So is he going to put a gay female fighter on a show? I doubt that very much.
So in the chat, Daz, Raw, good evening, Raw. He's asked my next question. But the good news is it probably won't last. Now, do you think he'll have enough of this new toying and maybe give it up eventually?
Mate, possibly. He possibly will. I mean, what's to say that he's not gonna, think, oh yeah, I'll go on to another sport. Listen, I'll be honest, mate, and I'm not going to sit on fence here, and I'm not going to say, yeah, it's bad for women's boxing and it's bad for male. It's great for male boxing. Got to make a choice, and my choice is this guy being in control of it all is bad for boxing. Period.
Okay, thank you very much, Sean. Welcome back to this hemisphere.
Hey guys, how are you?
All right, you bit of an Australian twang going on there from your time overseas. We'll try and understand you. I'll put subtitles on when I drop it if I can't understand you. Okay.
Much appreciated.
No problem. Good to see you. So, same question for you, fella. So, obviously, Turki Al-Sheikh, good or bad for boxing?
I think it depends what angle you come at it, really. Like Daz was just saying there, to be honest. I mean, in terms of fights that we've cried out for over the years, it's great that we get to see them. But to the detriment of the sport, how will it affect it, really? I think that's the way I see it. And in terms of Turki himself, again, what Daz said, really, I don't think one guy trying to monopolise everything is good, really, because part of boxing and part why we all like it, is because of the competitive. It's different promoters, it's different TV networks, it's us having something to talk about, really. I mean, what show was better than what show? So in that regard, just having one guy, I don't necessarily think it's the best thing. I think, it's going to be up to him, really, how long he wants to stay in there. And can he keep all the promoters on side? Yes, he's got the money, but surely there will be. I mean, I know there's talk of Warren joining DAZN as well, so he'll be under the same platform. But surely it's going to only be a matter of time before it goes back to the traditional promoters sort of having their rivalries, not necessarily for networks, but on DAZN, who will get the best slots on DAZN out of Hearn and Warren, It's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
Yep, very interesting. So some comments inside. Ross says they'll eventually realise no tourists will go there and they won't get any return on investment. He goes on to say Turki doesn't actually have much power. He's just a friend of the Crown Prince. And his last comment on this subject, when his expenditure doesn't return anything, eventually the Prince will cut his funding and maybe his head too, allegedly.
And for my side, I think that the level of the UK shows has gone downhill very much. In the Matchroom focus is Riyadh season and US shows. So I think the Matchroom schedule this year has been very poor.
Difficult, because it's a balancing act, isn't it? Because putting the female fighters to one side for 1 minute, you got a simple choice, because you'd never get a fight like Beterbiev versus Bivol, would you, without the Saudis? Let's be honest. So, do we take a medicine and accept that them fights will be happening in different territories, and maybe the UK fight cards you might get one a year? That's top draw, a bit like Wembley. Or would you rather the other way, where the big fights don't get made, as in the marquee fights like Bivol versus Beterbiev, but the cards are slightly better in the UK? I mean, which one do you go for? I don't
know. I like to go to live boxing, and I will never go to Riyadh. Never.
How many times, or kind of we sat there as fight fans saying we're pissed off with the politics. Why is Bivol not fighting Better BF? So I don't know. I'm a bit conflicted, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I agree with that. They tried for years to get that fight over the line before Riyadh season joined a year ago. So I agree with that. If you want those big fights and see it on pay-per-view, I can understand people who have that opinion. But I like to go to live events and see boxing live. And so I would take some of the big fights. If those fights will not happen, it will be. I understand all other people who love it, but I would like to have a better UK cards to go to watch live.
Do you know my point is, and this is almost proving it. Are you telling me that Warren and Shalom and Sauerlands need this geezer to work together? No. I mean, come on, we're not in school, are we? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not him saying, "Come on, you've got to get on with so and
I
so."
would counter then, Daz. I'd counter you by saying, well, why didn't it happen then?
Mate, money, isn't it? He's obviously chucked an absolute shed load of money at it.
But they do need him then, right?
No, they don't. They could have done this.
Playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, they could have done this. They could have worked together. They could have, come to a compromise. But neither of them wanted to give. None of them wanted to give ground to the other. So basically, I think what Turkey's done is offered them both a shed load of money that they're both happy with. So no one's taking less.
And I think Ben Shalom's going to pick a few quid up as well and say the more
yeah,
he gets.
I think so. Do you know what I mean?
I'll just pick some comments up in the side from Raw. Disappointed that the promoters haven't reinvested the money from Riyadh back into the domestic game. That's a fair point.
Good point.
Ideally, we want Riyadh to put on the fights which are super high quality, but with no mass casual appeal, like Better BF versus Bivol. The entire sport loses money generally. That's a fair point as well, isn't it, Daz? Having a look at the business side of it.
Yeah.
So we'll move on then, guys, okay? So another hot topic this week. A lot of pundits in the boxing world are coming out and saying they feel if Tyson Fury gets defeated by Usyk in the rematch that he may retire. So I come to you first on this, Sean. If Fury was to lose, how do you think it plays out?
I mean, regardless for Fury, there's still AJ, isn't there? Win or lose, everyone wants to see that fight. AJ lost to Usyk twice himself, so there's nothing to pick between the men in that regard. With him retiring, he always says that, doesn't he? Every few months he seems to retire. I think he'll probably fight AJ, regardless if he wins or loses, then probably retires in the next 12 months, maybe.
I'm going to ask everybody this. You're advising Anthony Joshua. Fury's just been beat by Usyk. You can rematch Usyk for the third fight, or you can jump in with Tyson Fury. What would you be advising him?
I would say probably Fury myself. One that I think will get him sort of see a new chapter. Really, we've seen Usyk two times. Do we really want to see it a third time, despite the link up with Ben Davison?
Usyk is making noises of giving him that third fight, though, isn't it?
Yeah, of course he will be, because it's a big money maker for him, regardless. Even though he's beat AJ twice, that's probably still the biggest money fight for Usyk outside of Fury.
Darren, coming to you next. What do you reckon?
I don't think he'll retire if he loses. But from what I'm hearing about his corner team, I think he's going to lose because he's keeping his dad in corner. So I think Usyk's gonna win again. I can't for life of me understand why he's keeping his dad in corner.
No.
I really can't. I just think it's crazy. Absolutely crazy. My biggest gripe is listen, and I'm gonna get some stick for this and all.
Is this the title, Daz? Is this the title of the video? Let me make a note.
Is it what?
Is this the clickbait title that I'm waiting for?
No. He as much as listen, I'm a big fan of Alexander Usyk. Let's get that straight. Big fan. I think he's an absolute diamond of a person.
Yeah.
I think he's a role model. You know, he's anyone who's up wanting to turn pro. This is how you should conduct yourself. You know what I mean? Like Usyk. But I can't. You know, if he beats Fury again, we're going to have this. He's one of top 5 greatest heavyweights of all time, and all this. And I can't be doing my listening to that because he's not even in top 10. Do you know what I mean? He's you know, it's either him or Fury or Joshua who's going to end up the best of an absolutely shit era of heavyweight boxing. Do you know what I mean? But he's a very, very good fighter. I'm not saying he's not, but my point is I don't think Fury's going to beat him because I think he's going to make no changes whatsoever. He's going to have his dad warbling in corner, a load of rubbish. Listen, if he'd have just had Sugar Hill and Andy Lee in corner, maybe I'd have thought, yeah. Do you know what I mean? He's taking it a bit more serious. But to have him, to have his dad in corner doing, I mean, come on. It's like absolute nuts. So I just don't think he's going to win. I think it's going to be the same shit show. To be honest, I think John's going to headbutt some little kid again in build up. I think it's just going to go daft, and I think he's going to lose. But the AJ fight, I actually think AJ is a different AJ at the minute. But we need to see that against someone competitive first. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't say on flattening and Ngannou and
Walling.
Who was that? Sorry.
Otto Walling, wasn't it? Who he beat?
Walling, yeah.
Walling, that's it. Yeah. I'm flattening Walling and Ngannou. I'm not going to say he's a totally different animal under Ben Davison, and want to see him in with. Well, listen, we'll see a bit of something v Dubois, won't we? Because Dubois is going to have a go. We'll see a bit of something. Yeah, we'll see a bit of something there. If he deals with Dubois in a bit of a brutal way, then you could possibly say, listen, a third fight with Usyk could be very different. Because let's be fair, Joshua was gun shy, weren't he?
And he's settled down a bit now with Ben Davison, hasn't he?
Yeah,
got a settled camp. He's not jumping around Derek James and God knows who else.
Yeah, I mean, listen, one of the best bits of advice as a trainer I've ever heard in my life with Ben Davison saying to AJ, listen, you're 6'6", 18.5 stone. Why are you going out there pity patting? Yeah. Go out there and smash people's heads in. You're a monster. Act like one. Do you know what I mean? It's right. Act like a monster, but do it with a bit of craft. But don't be there pity patting and all that, being scared to throw shots. Make your opponent scared of you throwing a shot.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Thank you. Orkan, coming to you. What are your thoughts?
I think that that Usyk will win the rematch too. And my thoughts is what will happen with all the belts after the rematch. Will WBA, WBO and WBC join IBF like IBF did, and to spread the belts out to the mandatories, who has been waiting for their shot in more than 2 years. So if they do that, I don't think that I think that AJ Fury could happen, but the question is if AJ wins and Fury lose. I think that fight could happen even if Fury lose.
Yeah.
And I think that AJ Fury is the biggest fight in boxing. So we don't need a belt for that fight either.
No, big enough. I'm going to pick some comments up on the side. So Ra says Tyson probably will make an emotional knee-jerk retirement, but will come back for a mega AJ money fight. He goes on to say, then will retire and return repeatedly until he starts getting KO'd by lower level fighters. Most of these guys can't walk away from the addiction of the bright lights. I have to agree with that one. Telling your own dad to get lost is very hard to do. I don't agree with that. Not when it comes to a big fight like this. Interesting that both Jones Jr. and Mayweather did dispense with their fathers early on to fulfill their potential.
Floyd kept Floyd Senior around the camp though. He didn't. He just got him away from lead trainer. He had his Uncle Roger.
Yeah.
As I mean, you can't. To be fair, you can't compare John Fury's boxing knowledge with Floyd Mayweather Senior's. Floyd Mayweather Senior is a different level. You know what I mean? He's been there, done it, bought a T-shirt, all sorts. You know, but Floyd obviously recognised that his Uncle Roger were a better sort of fit. But he did keep his dad around, and make no mistake, he still listened to his dad. You know, but his dad didn't stand in corners spouting as much shit as what John Fury does.
Yeah. Okay, moving on. So, it's been announced this week that there's a rumour that the 5 versus 5 in terms of Matchroom in Queensbury, it may be taking place again in December. So, just as a bit of fun, seeing boxing's a bit of light, I thought this week we'd play a bit of matchmaking and any fights that jump out. If you had a magic wand, who would you make? So, I'm going to come to Darren first on this one. So, Darren, is there any obvious ones that jump out to you where you think, yeah, I'd make that one?
Well, is this what I think that the promoter's going to make or what I would make?
Who would you make?
Right,
if you was like Turki Shake and you had endless amount of dough, talk to me.
Right, I'll start from bottom and I'll say Nicola Oatwell v Shannon Ryan.
Chantel Cameron Taylor.
I'll come into that. Give me a sec.
All right, I'm just.
Then I'd probably say Ebony Bridges v Shannon Courtney.
Who will be Queensbury of those?
Oh yeah, but I mean, one of them would have to sign for Queensbury.
It won't matter, would it?
No. Or Ebony v Dina Torsland. Either one of them. Then I'd have. I think it'd be Shiraz v Eubank Jr. Then I think I'll have. It's a bit of a tough one. Bit of a tougher. I think I'll have Callum Simpson v Ben Whitaker. And to finish off, barring results going wrong, let's hope they go right. Top at Bill, Fury v Joshua.
Yeah.
But,
Very good. Very good.
But to be honest, the first two were a bit biased on my account, obviously. But so
we didn't want to say nothing, but we
no.
do.
So if I'm going to do it on an unbiased opinion on the first two, I'll go Sky Nicholson v Raven Chapman.
That's in the comments.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh well, yeah, we think a lot. Yeah. So an unbiased opinion, obviously, because I'd want my fighters on, but I'll go Sky Nicholson v Raven Chapman. And if I'm going to throw another female fight in, I don't know. I'd sort of like to see Sandy Ryan v Lauren Price.
Yep, good chat. Orkan, you're up next, fella. Give us some of your example fights who you'd make.
5 versus 5 is strictly to Matchroom Queensbury. It's my question.
Listen, let's not overthink this, okay? If you want to go outside, because listen, if they wanted them on the cards enough, they'll sign them, right?
Yeah, let's make do
like
a
Wilder.
Yeah, do it. Orkan, do a 5v5, whether it's Matchroom, like Matchroom v Queensbury v Boxer v Wasserman.
Yeah, Orkan, you and Darren have destroyed my topic now anyway, so just do what you want.
Okay. I take that one. I take a couple of female fights first, and I take that one, Sandy Ryan, Lauren Price. That's a good fight, and I think they are the two best in that division at the moment. But maybe I have to eat it up or call if Michaela Mayo wins the fight in New York now. But so that fight and Sky Nicholson versus Chapman. Those are the female fights I would like to have there. And other fights, it's that one that's suggested Christian Eubank Jr. Hamza Shiraz. That's one of the best ones I can see. And
what made Eubank Jr. deserve that level of fight?
Probably he doesn't deserve it. What he has done in the.
Curious. Sorry, go on.
And maybe rematch Nick Ball Ray Ford.
Probably deserves a rematch. Yep. Carry on.
So I have one left then, and I take AJ Fury then.
Yeah. I'm just going to pick a couple of comments up on the side, and I'll come to you, Sean. So Ra says that he'll go for Collins versus Price and Smith versus Lee. I assume that's Boston, I'd imagine, versus Fail.
That's a good fight. Junaid Boston v Ben Fail.
Yep.
Good fight.
That guy says Ryan versus Mayer looks to be bubbling. I like that fight if they sort that training stuff out. And that's where we are. So, Sean, coming to you. Same question to you.
Yeah, I agree. I would go, obviously, AJ Fury. Then a fight I'm quite intrigued about seeing how it would go would be, it's probably a bit early for him yet, but Fabian Wardley and Johnny Fisher. I think that'd be a good fight down the line. I still would love to see Buatsi and Yard. I don't know what's going to happen there, but that's a fight I really want to see. Probably Callum Smith and Ben Whittaker possibly as well. That's a fight I think will be a good fight. And then Cameron Taylor. And then, yeah, I agree, Eubank and Shiraz. Although I'm not sure what's going on with Eubank. He's just put his house up for, I think, 9 million here in Brighton. So he's not short for a few quid either way.
If anyone's going to put Eubank Jr. on this card, it's going to be you, Sean. You know, people accuse me of being biased towards Leewood and Carl Froch, namely Daz. Outrageous comments he put on Twitter, Daz. Outrageous. You know, trolling me on Twitter, outrageous. But Sean, I'll level the same question to you. Why does Eubank, I know he's a profile, etc., but why does he deserve a fight of that magnitude?
Well, he doesn't. That's a short answer to it. But I think it's just because of his name. You know, Hamza Shiraz hasn't really fought anyone with a name, you could argue. I mean, he has for us guys because we know like the domestic fighters and things like that. But in terms of, well, I wouldn't necessarily say Eubank's a well-level fighter, but certainly the Eubank name still carries a certain amount of eyeballs and people attracted to it. So I think that would be the reason.
What do you think of him going to Boxer, Sean? Do you think he's come out with that list, hasn't it, over the next 12 months? Is that come on, is it fairy tale stuff?
He's too busy playing poker in LA at the moment, I think. So no, I don't think that will happen. I think Boxer will probably get him out a couple of times as a headliner, but I don't think he'll be in a really big fight until next year, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay, last topic of the night. First bids were yesterday at lunchtime. They put a post out. We don't know where the venue is. We don't know who's won the first bids, but the fight has been agreed. Clarke versus Wardley. Obviously, in and around Easter time, I think, from memory, when that first fight happened on the Sunday evening, it was an absolute war, wasn't it? So, Sean, I'll come to you first on this one. Simple question: who wins and why?
I think Fabio Wardley wins, and I think he will stop him this time. I just think with Fraser Clarke, the jury's still out for me. I don't really know how good he is. He blows too hot and cold from what I've seen so far. And I just think Wardley's got that dog in him where he never says die. And I think he'll catch him, and I think he'll potentially stop him this time.
Okay. I think this might divide opinions. Orkan, who wins and why?
This is a very difficult. The first one was so close and so entertaining. So I will go with a split decision. I say Wardley split decision. No.
And you like your split decisions, lad, don't you? Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, cheers, Orkan. Daz, coming to you.
I think Clarke is going to learn from that last fight. Use that jab a lot more, a bit more purpose on it. Trying not to get caught with silly shots, and I think Clarke's going to beat him on points, or possibly even stop him late.
So, looking at the comments on the side, Raw. Clarke on points. We'll get the tactics right to frustrate Fabio all night. I'm not too different from that. I think Clarke improved no end in that fight with Wardley, and I think he's got more levels to go up than Fabio Wardley has. So I think that Fraser Clarke's he's shown me enough in that fight. I think he'll stop him this time late, because although they was both out on the feet, Wardley was out on his feet a little bit earlier than Clarke for me. So I think Clarke might have the better engine. So I'm going to go. I'm going actually about round 9. I think Wardley will stop him. Sorry, Clarke will stop him about round 9. So that's my view. Okay, lads, that brings us to the end of the show. I'd like to thank Ra and that guy in the chat for all the comments. Orkan, thank you very much, young man, for joining. Much appreciated. Sean, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope the jet lag's not too bad. Daz, thanks for joining, fella. Really appreciate it.
Right, mate.
And just last minute, that guy says, "Yeah, I'm going with Clarke. A lot seem to be only Wardley can. A lot seem to be only Wardley can learn from the first fight. So people are saying only Wardley can learn from the first fight. From people I've spoken to. No, I think Clarke learned a lot from that first fight. So, Ra, thank you very much. Yeah, I'll see you in London. Thank you for everyone who's joined on the panel, much appreciated. This has been Last Bowl Boxing, proudly sponsored by LW Liftings Limited and SC Travel. Same time next week, 7 p.m. Agree, disagree, post your comments in the comments box below, and we'll get back to you. Take care.